Alright, so today I'm gonna be spraying primer over the fenders, and I actually got a new spraying machine that doesn't require a compressor. So I'm gonna show you guys how I thin the primer and how I shoe the over fenders. These cups are actually reusable, so I labeled some with like clear coat, base coat, and primer. That way I'm not mixing a bunch of chemicals in the same one. These are the tools that I have been using, 220 and 80 actually, to sand the panels really smooth. Okay, so here are the over fenders. Pretty much I sanded them down completely by hand, and I used the sander on the last part just to try to even everything out. As you guys can see, a bunch of scratches going this way and in the X pattern. I'm probably gonna hit it one more time with 220 before I actually use my primer filler. Yeah, so far they look pretty good. I'm just gonna give it one quick pass and then clean them up and spray my primer. And also, this was cracked a little bit, so I used some spot putty. I'm gonna sand it down and probably give it another pass right there. Alright, so I'm gonna start by mixing my primer 1-to-1, so it's like pretty watery, and then I'm gonna go ahead and clean this with acetone. That way I can get rid of any of the lint or any imperfections on it, I guess, any dust particles, and then we'll see what kind of results we can get. So a little bit about this new sprayer. It's an HBOP turbine system, so it doesn't require a compressor. The reason why I decided to go with this system is because I had a really unreliable compressor and it was extremely loud. This machine worked really well and I would highly recommend it, but I'm still testing how it sprays, and so far I'm pretty satisfied with it, but we'll see once I get to the clear coat stage. We'll see how well it lays it down. And thanks for tuning in. Stay till the end of the video. I'm gonna reveal a little bit more about the plans for the cars. As you guys can see, I don't have a very good spraying technique. Also, because of the space, that's another issue. I have a lot of stuff in my garage and outside. I'm planning to downsize a little bit. So after the convertible 240 is up and running, it's probably gonna go up for sale. I'm thinking I'm gonna sell it fairly cheap, just because I had the car for a while and it was my first car, and I just want to see somebody else enjoy it. I'm not gonna try to get like 10k for it. I'm gonna be considering reasonable offers, nothing too crazy. Alrighty, regarding the other 240, the one with the Sylvia front end, we're gonna try to paint that car ourselves just one more time, or at least see if the glitter paint or flake paint will look good on the car. And if it doesn't, I already have a painter that quoted me on the car, and they told me that they would pull out all the dents instead of like trying to use body filler. Pull out the dents, paint the body kit, polish the paint, pretty much do everything for me, and the offer seemed really reasonable. And I actually know the person, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna do really good work. That's gonna be my other option. I'm still saving up for the paint job just because paint jobs aren't cheap and I want this car to look really good. Besides that, I already have all the body kit parts that I want to put on the car, so that's a plus. Everything is ready to be painted, or at least worked on by the painter. And that'll be it for this section of the video, I guess. I don't want to reveal all the plans for the car yet, but I just want to let you guys know that I do have a bunch of parts already, but I haven't installed them. And what's been holding me back is that I said that I wouldn't do anything to the car till it was fully painted. And honestly, that was a really bad decision. I should have left the car how it was and just drove it like that and eventually gotten it painted at the very end. But I can't be driving the car just primered, just because water could get in there and start rusting the crap out of the car. So that would make it even worse. So within 1 to 2 months, we're gonna get the car painted and I'll do a paint reveal. But this time for reals. I don't know if you guys noticed, but in previous videos I always, or not always, but several times I mentioned the paint reveal. And that was because I actually chose 3 different colors. So in the beginning, I chose white, pearl white with flakes. And then I changed my mind because I wanted the car to look really aggressive. So I decided to go with murdered out. But since I'm not really good at doing body work, I decided to change the color one more time, just because black paint needs a perfect body, or else you're gonna be able to see every single little ding or dent on the car, and it's also pretty hard to maintain, I'd say. So my final decision ended up being, well, I'm not gonna tell you guys. You guys will see once the car is like fully painted, either by my hand or the painter's hand. We'll see what happens. Alright, so we're getting ready to clean this. I already wet sanded it because I wanted a really smooth surface. I'm just gonna hit it with some degreaser real quick and let them dry, and we'll get ready for the clear coat. So the clear coat came out pretty decent, but I did make a few mistakes. So I was spraying on a pretty hot day, and usually you want like a pretty controlled temperature, so you have time for the clear coat to flow. My second mistake was using pretty fast activator just because I didn't want a bunch of dust to land on it. Luckily, the panel came out pretty decent, but there was like a couple dust specks that landed on the panels. But since I used a fast activator, that kind of benefited me a little bit because it was pretty much dry when the dust landed, so I was able to wipe it right off. The negative of that was that I did get some orange peel just because the clear coat didn't have time to flow. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the results. Stay tuned for the next video. Let's see what happens.